What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Rambling Garage. Today we got a little bit of an update video. I got some questions for you guys in terms of like what content you want to see moving forward. Probably you can see that in the title already. As you can see, we're out here at storage. We're in the middle of July here in Wisconsin. It's been raining a lot. It's been super humid, so I've been kind of slow on the videos as of late just because I don't like working in that stuff. So we still have a bunch of stuff that we are wanting to work on, from GTA detail. We got to finish up the well, we got to swap amps in the WS6 after the key audio install. See if that fixes our speaker issues. And what else we got? I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff. I got to start working on the Rambler. I got a metal shears coming so that I can start cutting out the floor templates and everything. So that's coming. I also want to give you guys an update on the Concord. I'll do that at the end of this video. This video, I want to talk about our 1989 Grand Prix Turbo, the McLaren car. That is a fairly rare car and fairly unique, and I've been debating whether or not I want to keep it around. Our car is pretty rough. You guys have probably seen it already, but I don't know, is it much more rough than the Rambler that we're taking care of? I'm not really sure. So that's what I want to go take a look at today. I already started pulling the car apart a little bit. Earlier this spring, I thought I wanted to rebuild the motor in it and swap it back in. So I have a good bit of parts for that, but I'm not convinced that I want to do that just by itself. So let's go take a look at it. I'll let you guys know what I've been thinking, and I'm curious what you guys think, or how you think we should proceed, if we should proceed, or you know, what sounds good, what you'd enjoy seeing. So let's go take a look. All right, guys, so out here in storage, you got the WS6. GTA's at home right now. We'll do a swap here soon. Rambler's here. There's a big Kenosha show next year in July that I really want to get this car to. So we have to finish the floors, get carpet in it, redo all the seats, ideally over the winter, and do the roof. So that's quite a bit, but I think we can get it done in time. It's like every 4 years, pretty big show. So I'm excited for that. But anyways, what we're here for, this video, is the Grand Prix. So you guys have probably seen this car before. If you haven't, here it is. It's a 1989 Grand Prix. 89s are a little more rare than 90s, I believe, if I recall. Red is my favorite color in them, so we're already kind of there with that. But this car, as you can see, it's a little rough. This door, I don't think is from this car. It was swapped over, so it doesn't exactly match. The hood up here is not in great condition, as you can see. This whole car has been repainted at least once, probably twice. I ran a Carfax on it just for the heck of it. It's been wrecked. You can tell that this front support has been pushed in a touch, but it's really not that bad. The headlights are all recessed and stuff like that. So it's got stuff that indicates that it's had kind of a rough life. And you can just tell, like, it's a Midwest car. It's seen some salt. It's, you know, it's had all that kind of fun. So this thing, my initial thoughts were, let's take the motor out. Let's do some bearings and rings and stuff and check it out, work through the heads. It is in pretty rough shape. I have a crossover that's not broken. Upgrade the turbo. I already have upgraded injectors in there that would support a slightly larger turbo. I just need the fuel pump to go with it. So doing things to this car would be relatively easy. I'd maybe want to try and, I don't think I could do it, but get somebody to design some headers and a crossover that works well with the turbo. Would be kind of nice to free that up a little bit, make it look nicer. I brought this in here initially because it was misfiring, and that is obviously why that spark plug, the plug wire, is almost all the way through. So I have new wires for it. One thing I don't have, which is kind of hard to find on these cars, well, I partially have it, is that lower splitter piece. So you can see it's missing. They're pretty tough to find, but they look really good when they're on there. So ideally I find one of those and I can finish it off. So kind of the plan would be is over the winter, get this thing up on the stands and start working on the underbody. So I got to show you the underbody. It's not good. Once that's done, we can move into the interior. The interior isn't terrible. The seat's pretty torn up. We could find a replacement potentially, but the rest of the interior looks okay. Some cracking on the dash, but nothing too terrible. I do have this guy, the headlight control module thing. The stereo turns on but doesn't work, so there's a control unit, I believe, that we'd have to take a look at. I know, like, this needs a window motor. It works, but it's got like a broken gear in it, so it needs stuff. What I'm worried about more so than that stuff, I can do all that stuff. Parts are cheap on Rock Auto. What I'm worried about is what we have hiding down there. I need to pull this off, and I should have brought a ratchet so I can do that, but I didn't. So, as you can see down here, also, like, this stuff needs to be replaced. You can tell it's set outside. Really not the end of the world. Little rust buildup here. Bring that down to metal and fix that up. Again, not too worried about that. You can see rust on the ground there. So, what I'm worried about is the bottom of this car is not pretty by any means, but a lot of what you see is what I would call like deep surface rust. So, it's surface rust. There's not a whole lot of spots where like the floors are bad or anything. I don't see that. Back here it's kind of bad, but like that mount there, that's pretty crucial. It looks solid. It's just got a lot of surface rust on it. So we could clean it up. The back half of the car is a little worse than the front. And I believe the passenger side is a touch worse, where there's like a chunk probably that big of pinch weld that came off. So I don't have a problem recreating that. We just have to know that it's going to be a thing. You can't really see over here because the way that I have the car and I got stuff just resting on it, but this side is kind of the same story. The good, I guess, is that taking a look in here, you don't see many strut towers that look that nice, especially with an underbody that looks like this one. So we have a good strut tower on each side. This kind of looks rusty with the flash. It's not. It's just the undercoating that they used. Other good news is I have parts galore in this thing already. I've just been accumulating. I got an oil pump. I got plenty of JB Weld. Worst comes to worst, we just JB Weld the car together. This is my crossover. Those are getting hard to find and they're expensive, so I have that. I have absolutely zero idea what's in there. The rocker cover on the driver's side was cracked. We have an extra one right there. What's this? What is it? Oh, coil packs. I got coil packs. I got plug wires. I got something here. That's my address. I'll blur that out. Cool. I got something else here. I don't even know what I have. I just have stuff for it. So, really that stuff could just go to a different car. I get that. Or we could make do with what we have here, and I don't think it's that bad. It's not great. Like, I don't know why I closed that. I always want to open to drop new parts in it. But it's not great, but it's not terrible either. So I'm curious what you guys think. I know it'll probably cost more time and effort than the car's worth, but I've already started doing some stuff, like some painting there. You can see the back seats are in pretty decent shape. Cleaning up some of the turbo intercooler parts, stuff like that. I don't know, guys. What do you think? This is an 80s car with a lot of vacuum lines, a lot of electrical, so like that's a hassle. The rust is a thing. This doesn't have to be done over the summer either. We could approach the underbody and see where we get. And if that's where we get, then we just button this all back up and we kind of drive it and enjoy it. Maybe we get further than that. We get the underbody done. We pull this motor out. I don't honestly have too much further to do to get this motor out. Probably just cut the crossover out, get the turbo out, and then we just got to unbolt it from the trans. A couple other like coolant lines and stuff, but we're not that far off. Again, this has some newer parts on it too. It's got new plugs, newer alternator. Okay, couple of new parts, I guess. Allegedly, this turbo is pretty new. I checked it out. It's got a little shaft play, but nothing too crazy. The shaft play doesn't look as bad as the turbo. So, I don't know, guys. I'm curious what you guys think. Should we run at this as a project? I have no problem putting the Rambler right here. I'm not going to lean stuff on it as much because I care about it a little more than this car in its current state. But do we turn it into a project, see how it goes? Worst case, we get started on it and we don't like it as a project, and it just sits in the garage for the winter. So I'm curious what you guys think about this. So, knowing that it needs some underbody work, it's going to need paint work, it's going to need some interior work. It needs a little bit of everything, but I wouldn't mind learning some paint work on this. I wouldn't mind learning some underbody metal work on it. Maybe I do the underbody metal work before I do the underbody metal work on this thing, so it looks better on the car that I do care about. That's kind of where my thought process is. We do have a lot of good parts here. These wheels are in really nice shape with the exception of one, I think. We'll need tires, but whatever. It would be cool to eventually take this car and make somewhere around 300 horsepower. I know that Trans is not going to like it. It's going to hate its life, but if it makes cool noises and goes fast, who cares? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. That's the Grand Prix. You guys have seen it. Maybe you want to see it some more. Let me know. Let's talk about the Concord. All right, guys, so really quick, we had our AMC Concord wagon on the channel here, and it started to be a project, and I started looking into it. And from the front wheel back to almost under the driver's seat, I noticed that there was very little frame left. It's a unibody car, but it needs that front frame portion. It's a very common area to rot out, and I was just not feeling up to the task of doing that. I'm fine with doing like a little patchwork on these cars where they need like body floor panels and stuff like that. It's not structural. It's not going to be something where, you know, you get in an accident. Hopefully not, but if you do, you got a chunk of frame going through your shin. I don't want to put myself through that potentially. So I decided to get rid of the car. It went over to somebody else that does some YouTube stuff. I'll put his link in the description if you're interested in checking it out. I don't know if he started on it yet, but he has done some frame patchwork in the past and it looks pretty good. So I let him know that if he ever plans to get rid of it, to please let me know. I will get it back. I'll take it back. I'll pay him for it. I'll pay him for his work, whatever. I am emotionally attached to that car, at least a little bit. I just didn't feel comfortable doing that to a car that I knew that Ron's family was going to be in, my family is going to be in. I don't want that liability. So got it over to somebody else that does that stuff. He does it fairly often, and I'm more confident in his work than I am my own. So that's what happened with the Concord. It's no longer here. I'll put some pictures up so you can see kind of its final state and what the frame looked like. But yeah, so Concord is no longer here, and we're actually also trying to get rid of the truck. So I'll have a video on that as well. I got a couple things to do, but then we'll make a for sale video. So a couple of changes here, but nothing too big. That's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think about the '89 Grand Prix. I really like this car. I've wanted one since high school. My thought is to, you know, go through it and just make it what I would have had in high school. So I think it's a fun opportunity to do so. I don't have a whole lot to lose in it except for time, and going into the winter, that's all I'm going to have on my hands is time. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.